Long before the hashtag tower symbol became the badge of the internet, it began in a much older world, a world of Roman merchants, handwritten ledgers, and goods weighed out in the marketplace. The story starts with the Latin phrase libra pondo, meaning a pound by weight. Roman merchants used it when recording weight, and over time, scribes shortened it to the simple abbreviation LB. That is why we still use LB today for pounds. The word libra meant scales or balance, and pondo referred to weight. It was practical, ordinary, and completely unglamorous. Just the kind of thing a merchant needed when keeping track of wool, grain, metal, or spices. But writing materials were precious, and medieval scribes hated wasting space. So instead of writing everything out, they used abbreviations constantly. To show that LB was one linked unit rather than two separate letters, they drew a small horizontal bar across the top. That mark, sometimes called a tittle or macron, turned the abbreviation into the old pound weight symbol. You could still see the loop of the L and the belly of the B, but the letters had begun their long disguise. Then came speed. By the 1600s and 1700s, clerks, shopkeepers, and bookkeepers were writing receipts, invoices, and ledgers as quickly as their hands could move. In fast cursive, the old began to blur. Pens did not always lift cleanly from the paper. The vertical stroke of the L and the vertical part of the B became two quick downstrokes. The top abbreviation bar and the lower curve of the B began to look like two crossing horizontal strokes. Slowly, the symbol lost its resemblance to the letters LB at all. By the 19th century, it had settled into something closer to the mark we know today, two upright strokes crossed by two horizontal strokes. It became useful not only for pounds, but also for numbers. On receipts, signs, typewriters, and business documents, for 5 could mean number 5, while in American usage, the same mark could still be called the pound sign. That is how one little symbol managed to carry two meanings at once, number and weight. Then technology gave it a new life. When telephone engineers added extra keys to the push-button keypad in the 1960s, the symbol was placed alongside the star key. Bell Labs workers gave it a peculiar name, octothorpe. The octo likely came from the symbol's 8 points, but the thorpe part remains tangled in stories. Some say it was a joke, some connect it to athlete Jim Thorpe, and others admit nobody is entirely sure. For decades, people knew it as the pound key, the number sign, the hash mark, or the octothorpe, depending on where they lived and what they used it for. Then, in 2007, it changed again. A technologist named Chris Messina suggested using the hashtag symbol on Twitter to group conversations by topic. His idea was simple. Put the symbol before a word, and suddenly that word became searchable, clickable, and connected to a larger conversation. The symbol had already been used in earlier internet systems like IRC channels. But Twitter gave it a public stage. And just like that, the old pound sign became the hashtag. What began as a Roman abbreviation for weighing goods became a medieval scribal shortcut, then a clerk's hurried mark, then a typewriter key, then a telephone button, and finally, one of the great organizing tools of the digital age. Today, hashtag history, hashtag news, hashtag faith, hashtag funny, or hashtag breaking can gather strangers from all over the world into the same conversation. Not bad for a symbol that started out as two little letters meaning a pound by weight. The hashtag symbol may look like a tiny fence, but across history it has opened 1,000 gates.